welcome to this webinar. My name is Gabriel, and today I'm super excited to share with you this didactic unit that I've created for 3rd grade, and also to show you the timeline explaining all the exciting experience that I went through all my years in high school, elementary, and middle school. This class is going to be about teaching preposition of places using literacy. But first, I would like to show you a little bit about how was my experience in school learning my first language, in this case Spanish. How was the education back then? Because now we are in 2024, and as you can see, I started my pre-K in 1997. Was long time ago, so everything has changed so far. So in this timeline, I'm going to take you to a journey through all nostalgia, memory, and learning. The first part is going to be about each one of the years. I started, like I said, 1997 when I started pre-K. Everything that I have was just a little book where the teacher taught us about to mime all the words, to repeat it, to know all the combinations, the words, the sound of the word combination of words, and then everything started in a very hard way. Then we started now with our psychomotor skills, learning now the sound of much more complex words. Now we started reading even harder books. Okay, now starting in like a 3rd or 4th grade with reading comprehension books, reading comprehension exercise. It was just not more to repeat it, just learning, but understand what we were reading, what we were writing, with more resources about storytelling. Then in the 5th and 6th grade, we start with that. Back then we learned a lot about punctuation, grammar structure, grammar uses, everything that you needed to know all when you're writing in a proper way. Then start in the middle school and everything gets harder and harder in each one of the classes. Now the teacher encourages us to create our stories, right? To read more complex stories. It wasn't just about little short stories. Now in that moment we learned in a kind of more advanced way. Now when I get into a high school, the classes were a little different, because now in that moment the teacher gave us the opportunity to choose the books that we wanted to read, and then we had to explain to the whole class about the book, right? So it was just like to retain information, to make summaries. We started now to learn how to write essays, opinion books, history text. And then in the last 2 grades, 10 and 11, we prepare a lot for something that we call ICFES, that is like a national test, and we learn a lot about reading comprehension. We had classes specialized just in reading comprehension, just to have a great notes in our last two years. So everything in that way, literacy was more about repeating, mime, to make like a context of what we're reading and create significant learning and knowledge about them. If you have the time, you can go through each one of them, because you're going to see the methodology that the teacher used, the resources that our teacher used, and also my experience. I wrote in each one of them how was my experience and what I remember about my experience. How that helped me to create the didactic unit. It was because in that moment I was just a little boy, but now that I'm a teacher, I remember how I felt with all the information, how I felt with all that experience. So that helped me a lot to try to change what I didn't like to have in my didactic unit what I really liked and helped me, and make it in a proper way. So now, if you are a teacher, you are a parent, or just a curious and sticking around, because in this didactic unit I'm going to show you how creative I could be and all the creative ideas that I had to create this didactic unit. The institution, as you can see, is Saint Tampa School. I made that up, obviously, but the important is here that is for the 3rd grade. Okay, the unit focuses on preposition of place: at, in, on. Those words at first seems very simple, but they are very essential for kids because they are not easy to use and not easy to understand. And that is very essential for kids because you use them in everyday conversation in English. For example, in this didactic unit, the students will learn how to say the book is on the table, or they will know the difference between I am at the park or I am in the park. Just depends on what you want to say. The goal of the didactic unit is to make their learning process in a fun and interactive way. So my specific objective for this didactic unit is that the students can learn the difference between at, in, on, and where to use them. Okay. Also that they can have the ability to describe the position, the location of objects, and the location of them in places and public places. And also enhance the students for reading, listening, speaking, and writing skills with the focus of the prepositional phrases. So literacy here is very important because literacy involves reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Skills that are the key for a language that you're learning. It doesn't matter the language. We'll be using all those skills to enhance the students. For instance, we'll start with the vocabulary. We're going to start with the vocabulary about common objects, public places and rooms, like table, chair, box, school, park, house, the room, bathroom, kitchen, the street, the ocean, car, buses, everything that are very common for them. And we are going to continue by the grammar uses of the preposition of time, of place, at, in, on, and they will going to understand that at are for specific places or addresses, in for closest space or public space, and on for surface or streets, when everything public transportation or surfaces is place. Like I said, in literacy we have the 4 components: reading, listening, speaking, and writing, and in each one of them I am going to have a little moment to create, just like I like to say, a big robot about how we're going to use them. For example, in the reading part, we're going to read short sentences to describe the using of the prepositions. In listening, we are going to listen real dialogues, real conversations with real people, where they are telling the students where are the objects. In the part of the speaking, we are describing using conversation with dialogue to learn how the objects are using the prepositions. And in writing, they are going to write sentences, and then they are going to understand the sentences that they are writing using the prepositions at, in, on. The first part of the class are going to be about our warm-up. We are going to play the very famous game Simon Says using the prepositions. So the first the idea here is they are going to make a line, right? So the first student are going to be the leader. So they are going to say something like, Simon says the book is on the table. So he is going to put the book on the table. The second student on the line have to repeat the same action, and then you have to create another for the third student in the line. You're going to make the same. If one of the students failed with that, they're going to be out of the game, and they have to wait until the other students are completing the game. So this is going to be the warm-up. Then we're going to continue with the part of the real deal. The introduction here for the grammar part are we're going to show them. I'm going to show them a series of pictures like flashcards using on with the picture about on. So I don't know, a cat on a chair, right? Or a box, a ball in a box. In order to make them the possibility to understand the difference between each one of them. After learning that, we are going, or I am going to place various objects around the classroom, and I'm going to tell them where is the book. So they have to go there, and then they have to repeat the information. The book is on the desk. So they're going to go around, they're going to use the visual skills, then the kinesis skills, touching skills, and they're going to make have a significance learning using all the classroom, using the body, using the speaking exercise. They have to think about the sentences that they're going to say. In other moments of the class, they're going to do a pair work. So we're going to have the students by pair, in the case it's necessary 3, but we're going to make it by pair, and they're going to ask the question, where is, for example, the pencil? And the other student have to answer the question, it's on the table. So this is our second activity, and they are going to have the possibility of practicing the speaking area. In the individual work, they are going to draw several objects in a position, and they have to write down the drawing, the object. For example, a ball is on the box. So they're going to draw a box with a ball in it, and they're going to make it. In our writing activity, the students are going to have a worksheet. I'm going to give them a worksheet when they have the complete sentences using add in on based on the image or the descriptions, right? It could be for a full room, it could be individual objects, but the importance here is that they're going to have the possibility to write the sentence, to practice the writing, and then they are going to read the sentences to everybody. So they're going to practice conversation, they're going to practice reading and writing. Okay. Now, for the first part of the class, we are going to have here the assessment. So we are going to have 3 forms of the assessment: the formative, the summative, and the part of the reviewing. So in the part of the formative, the monitor, in this case myself, I'm going to participate during the speaking activities, and I'm going to correct them in the case that is necessary, to teach them sentences that in the case of necessary, and I'm going to go around the classroom, encourage the students to participate and talk with the others. In the part of the summative, it's very important. Not my favorite part, but it's important. We have to review, or I have to review the written sentences in order to check if they don't have any spelling mistake or any grammar mistake. I'm going to have the worksheet, and I'm going to have the time to review it, and afterwards we can make a review of that. And also, if you can see, I'm going to review all the drawings in order to check that everybody are doing the same exercise and they're going to do it well. The part of the resources that I'm planning to use are just flashcards with images showing the objects, like I said at the first. Also, I'm going to use videos with real conversations that they can practice the listening skill, right? And then they're going to do an activity. It could be writing or could be just repeating. Okay, I'm also going to use real objects in the classroom: books, pencils, the bags, I don't know, everything that I need to use there. And in the part of the writing, I'm going to use a worksheet, and like I said here, audio and short videos demonstrating prepositions of times. Using literacy to teach preposition of place doesn't just help the students understand English, it helps them think critically, express themselves in a creative way, and build their confidence in using the language. Plus, they have a blast doing it for try just activities and have fun with teaching prepositions and learning with the other classmates. So that's how I'm going to do this in my class, and that is how literacy is going to help me to accomplish my goal, that is that students can learn how to use properly the prepositions of time. So everybody, thank you very much for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one.